Hello everybody, Stallions, handsome Jackboy here, bringing you guys the second episode of my Borderlands, the pre-sequel Legendary Weapons Guide. And in this episode, I'm going to be covering the Striker. The Striker is a legendary Jacobs shotgun, and the prefix for mine is Hunting Striker. The prefix for you guys might change. Now, as you can see there in the red text, it says Finder 13. I'm not exactly sure if that's a reference to something, but that means that the Striker has 50% additive crit bonus and a 15% multiplicative crit bonus. Added with exceptional accuracy and a minuscule spread, increased weapon zoom when sighted. Now, in order to obtain the Striker, you're going to want to go to Crisis Scar, whether it's through Fast Travel or Triton Flats. And I recommend going through Triton Flats. That's what I'm doing here because it actually cuts down the farming time in half. The boss you're going to need to kill, by the way, in Crisis Scar is known as Red Belly. He's one of the main bosses in this game. So, like I was saying, if you go through Triton Flats in order to get to Crisis Scar, it actually cuts down the farming time. You don't have to walk as far, and it just makes things a little bit easier. You guys will see here in a second, but you're going to want to make your way over to this entrance. There's actually two ways of getting to Crisis Scar from Triton Flats, and you're going to want to take this way. Now, what will happen is if you save and quit after you kill Red Belly, let's say he doesn't drop the Striker, then you're going to spawn right here at the entrance instead of over at the fast travel station, making things quicker. You won't, like I said, you won't have to walk as far, and yeah, so as you can see, I'm just skipping by these enemies. You don't have to worry about them. You actually don't have to fight any enemies to get the Red Belly. I just decided to skip them. There's actually a little trick here that I'm going to show you guys, which some of you may not know about. If you jump on that little light post, and then you jump up here, you can then jump on this sign and skip like a lot of this area. So maybe not a lot, but you won't have to go inside and then go up the stairs. It just makes things a lot quicker, especially if you're planning on farming this. So as you can see, here is Red Belly. He is actually kind of a difficult boss, especially if you're doing this at max level and UVHM. At least for me, it was kind of hard. I'm not sure if it will be the same for you guys. But as you can see here in this footage, I am using the IVF, which is a legendary SMG that was in Borderlands 2, except it was called the Baby Maker, not the IVF. And I'm pretty sure this one does the exact same thing as the one in Borderlands 2. But as you can see, if you get Red Belly down to 75% health, he splits into Red and Belly. Yeah, they're two different bosses that were inside of each other, which is kind of weird to think about, but Belly is going to be the one that has a chance to drop the Striker. As you can see, I got it. It's really nice to see that orange glow. It took me about 10 tries to get this one. I have gotten it on my second try before, and this was before Gearbox increased the legendary drop rates. But yeah, let's move on to the gameplay now, shall we? Now, reading under the usage and description section here on the wiki for the Striker, it says the Striker's most prominent change from its previous incarnation is that which applies to many Jacobs weapons. Unlike its counterpart in Borderlands, where the massive damage was at the cost of fire rate, the Striker is semi-automatic with a small magazine in Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel. Perhaps even more accurate than it was before. The Striker also keeps its bonus critical hit damage, but at the cost of very high recoil. If unscoped, subsequent shots fired may miss the intended target completely. The nature of its accuracy further reduces its usefulness, as the Striker's tight spread will stay about the crosshairs as one group. A rather hit-or-miss behavior compared to other shotguns' random deviations of every pellet. Up close, many other shotguns can easily outperform the Striker, even other Jacobs shotguns of considerably lower rarity as its pellet count is relatively low. However, it only uses one shell per shot, so per ammo spent is one of the most powerful shotguns on Pandora. Alright, so my opinion about the Striker. This has got to be one of my favorite legendary shotguns in this game and in Borderlands 2. Because if you compare them both, they're pretty much identical in, I think, every way. The way they look, the special effects, I don't really think there's any differences. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure they're the exact same. The main reason I love this shotgun is not because it's good. Yeah, it is a pretty good shotgun, don't get me wrong. But the main reason is because I think it's a lot of fun. It just never gets old going around and popping heads all day long. I love that about this gun. The critical hit damage bonus is just, in my opinion, awesome. Yeah, it is kind of hard to use at close range. You can't really hit fire it without having a pretty high chance of missing. But nonetheless, I think it's just a lot of fun. And when you start aiming for the critical hits with this gun, you'll notice that you're doing a lot more damage. That's where this thing shines, is, you know, when you get critical hits, the damage is really good. And if you keep going for those body shots, the damage definitely, you know, is not nearly as good. So you kind of need to treat it as a sniper rifle. I mean, it's kind of one of those guns that is a mix between two weapon types. So in this case, we have a shotgun and a sniper rifle combined. And like I said, you just need to treat it like a sniper rifle. You need to stay back at like medium range. I don't think long range is too great with this gun. I mean, it kind of just depends. You need to find that range that suits this gun best, stick with it, and then just start aiming for the head as best you can. And in no time, you should, you know, notice you're doing a lot more damage. It really is a gun that once you kind of practice with it, you'll have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'm out of here. Peace.